Man.
Oh, man, this is good. And they will have 1,000 out. 500,000.
Down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell, my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man. We get money. That ain't our stilo.
Everybody know me, bro. That ain't my stilo. You know what I'm saying? That ain't how I get down, bro. Like, that ain't how none of my people get down.
Boosie is now drowning in heat. Everyone is accusing him of something. The epithet, ugly, is being whispered throughout the streets. His name is poison because many believe he called the hit on Duke the Jeweler. Blacklisted from the same area he once called home, he was once respected. People are warning him that he might not be able to walk out on his own 2 feet if he tries to enter the hood again after being caught slipping once. Here's the catch, though. With that Mob Ties crew, Boosie is heavily hooked in. And Duke, like what happened with Takeoff, he died in one of those loaded dice games. The main question keeps coming up on the streets. Is Boosie the fall guy in some sick scheme that he did not even anticipate, or did he sacrifice Duke? Duke's passing did not seem arbitrary. It was precise, well-planned, and merciless like an execution. Let us go back in time and observe how this evening transpired. All night long, Duke the Jeweler had been playing dice with men he thought were his people, friends, even. However, the streets now claim that those friends may have been giving him backward signals the entire time. Why would somebody want to arrange Duke in that manner?
So the next day, dude hit my partner like, man, y'all got the concert. Let us trail y'all, woo-de-woo. So dude went with us to the concert. And after I come off stage, everybody leaving. You know, we parked under the parking lot, under the arena where the celebrities parking and all that shit. He was in another car. He walked to his car. His car was outside the arena under where we was. It was on side the parking lot, so he had to walk to his car. And
this man was all grind. He started his empire from the beginning. No free passes or shortcuts. Duke was more than a jewelry maker. In addition to creating unique pieces for up-and-coming rappers, he was also working with some of the industry's biggest names. He did not leave his Chicago base for Houston for pleasure either. It was all business. And who is said to have sent out the invitation? That would be Boosie. Boosie informed him straight out that he wanted to discuss personalized jewelry. With $1 million duffel bag filled with his most ostentatious designs, Duke arrived prepared to make a great impression. He was unaware, however, that this would be his final journey. The duffel bag, rather than generating new business, it would appear in an unexpected way. However, since it has a direct connection to his murder, we must first dissect this dice game. Word on the street was that this was no friendly dice game. The setup was straightforward, and a streetwise individual, WAC 100, revealed everything. He refrained from biting his tongue. He advised anyone invited to a dice game in Houston, particularly one organized by J. Prince, to leave immediately because there is very little risk that they will take their money or even their lives. And it was precisely what imprisoned Duke the Jeweler, he said. He entered that pit directly. Wack dissected it even more. These are not clean dice games. They are fundamentally rigged. Only J. Prince Jr. and his Mob Ties team are able to emerge victorious when the rollers are tampered with. It is not a game of chance. It is mask-wearing robbery. The home.
He got 3 right? Who rotate the dice. Now these dice is loaded. Tell me it's a Wolf, Big Caprice, and watch this, and Little Cam are the loaded dice rotators, right? He said what? There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler around and got past the dice on accident and was hitting all them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story because, right, boom. The only way they could get their money back was however money back. He said, but Lil Cam, Wolf, and
It always prevails, and things get lethal when the house loses. Someone made a mistake that evening and gave Duke the loaded dice. He started winning all of a sudden and was stacking hundreds like if they were nothing. He instantly broke their system, and everything altered as soon as he did. Duke was documenting the entire event in addition to piling victories. He laughed at the table like he owned the evening, dropped stacks, rolled the camera, and had the phone out. When those clips resurfaced, many spotted the side glances, short whispers, shadows in the background, and cunning small signals that did not look friendly at all. At first, it appeared to be innocuous flexing. The worst part is still to come. According to rumors, J Prince takes 30% off each haul from a dice game. Duke did not only destroy the atmosphere when he turned the system on its head, he mishandled the funds. It is now growing darker. Duke showed the world that he could not lose by sharing tidbits of his winning run on social media. But something that Duke never even noticed emerged when people rewatched the identical clips. Pay close attention. The energy suddenly changes as Boosie leans back and gives his nephew a quick signal across the table. His nephew's eyes are locked. The room abruptly stops when another man taps his shoulder. Duke was smiling, throwing dice, and moving as if it were all fun just a few seconds ago. The atmosphere was tense, frigid, and rigid the next moment.
That's where the incident took place when somebody, tried to get him or whatever. But Vlad, bro, if anybody know me, bro, that ain't my stilo, bro. You know what I'm saying? That ain't how I get down, bro. Like, that ain't how none of my people get down. And that's just the bottom line. That's shit that we wouldn't do. And, we was up about it because obviously they were watching us. Obviously they were waiting for anybody to walk across that parking lot to them cars and get in them cars. So, it could have been one of us, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that happened to that dude. It just internet trying.
Minutes later, Duke leaves the game, walking back to his car. No bodyguards, no crew, no security. Just him and a duffel stuffed with millions in cash and jewels. A man with that much value on him strolling through a dark Houston parking lot. That's a setup waiting to happen. One moment, Duke is buzzing about his streak. The next, gunfire cracks the night. But here's where everything stops making sense. Why would Boosie, who knew the risks, invite someone from out of town carrying that much wealth and not provide protection? And why didn't J Prince Jr., the man hosting the dice game, make sure his guests were safe leaving the spot? These weren't small details. They were huge red flags waving in the air. And then came the discovery that turned suspicion into a full-blown conspiracy. Police hit the scene after hearing Duke was ambushed by robbers, but when they arrive, they find him lying in his own blood, chains still on his neck. Consider that. What kind of thief shoots a man but does not take away the most visible expensive jewelry? There were still the same chains Duke had proudly worn to Boosie's performance earlier that evening. But hold on, it gets stranger still. The lost duffel bag, which contained Duke's unpublished high-end jewelry designs, was the true twist. When Houston Police Department investigated further, the bag miraculously appeared inside Boosie's home after initially disappearing. Nobody is certain if Duke voluntarily gave it up for safekeeping during the game or whether Boosie obtained it following the catastrophe, but this is an indisputable fact.
Hey, the internet, y'all got us all the way up. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man. We getting money. That ain't our stilo. As a boss, I ain't letting that go down like that, man. This dude finna make me a piece. So y'all need to kill that. That's bad low, man. Don't put us in nothing with no bad low. It's bad low, man. This shit bad low, man. Straight up, this shit bad low. Kill it.
The bag survived the ordeal. Duke didn't. Boosie then attempted to steer the narrative. Pushing the robbery angle like that explained everything. He went live. However, there were flaws in his story throughout. He said that Duke simply left after the game and that he hardly recognized him. However, by that point, the parts did not fit together, and his words sounded more like smoke than fact. So the streets were not buying it. Why, however, did Boosie invite Duke to a private dice game with some of his own close friends if that is the case? And consider it. If Boosie had not promised Duke a personalized piece, he probably would not have even rolled through. In essence, Boosie had Duke flash 1,000,000 gems with no protection and then attempted to pretend that he did not know the man at all. The streets were recognizing that something was not quite right. Let us be honest. When Boosie recounted his version of events, he did not appear composed. He appeared twitchy and pale, as if he had just seen a ghost. A man with nothing to hide would not react that way. By now, no one was paying attention to anything he was saying. It seemed more like a last-ditch effort to cover up his trail the more he talked. Boosie can spend as much money as he likes, but he is aware that the people and streets do not support it. The tide has turned. He no longer has anyone on his side. The streets are changing. Boosie, knowing the walls are already closing, is sitting quietly with his shades on while the feds close in. Please leave a comment with your ideas, and remember to like and subscribe for more.